Hey everyone, welcome back to Hellion, and we'll just continue on with our prior missions. Quests. Whatever. I think it's up right. Access light support interface. Okay. Activate air generator or activate air filter. So like last time when we activated these to get air going. There we go. That was part of the quest system, and I guess for some reason it didn't recognize that we did it last time, but no worries. So let's go ahead and turn that off so we don't use or waste resources again. Curious as to if once the entire room pressurized or if we can stop at the halfway point like we did before. Once all of it. Okay, get some more air made. Obviously we can breathe at half atmospheres, but we're being a little bit more specific now, I guess. Yep, there it goes. Inspect the nanite cores. So before, when we went through some of this, we saw some things here, like this guy here is a tier 1, right? And you notice that the title of the object is like white. This one's blue. Blue means that it's tier 2. So it's got more resources and everything assigned to it, better quality item. If you recall in the previous video, the civilian nanite core only had a 2.0 armor rating. This tier 2 has a 5. And it had a 1300,000 capacity. This is at a 5200,000 capacity. So tier 2 is much better in quality. But let's go ahead and check the nanite cores and the other ones. Before we do that. Yeah, so let's do that. Get that done. Turn it off so we're not wasting battery power and other resources. This is very much a resource heavy game. So you need to, not resource as in computer or anything, but resource as in you have to manage your resources, because if you run out of oxygen, you're dead. Let's charge up some more. There's little things that you can find, like you notice the cursor changes there. You can open some of these things up and go in them and stuff like that. Every once in a while you'll find some goodies in there. Alright, close enough. Just keep going. So then we have to inspect these other nanite cores. Okay. 7 days, 22 hours on that one. This is just a tier 1, but because of the capacity, it'll last a pretty long time. Check the airlock. Come on. There we go. 4 days on that one. Okay. I think. Yeah, so we're done with that. So now we have to investigate these echoes from the past. So just to check this, but it's okay. Let's go ahead and craft some batteries, because we have a battery here that's not gonna last us too much longer unless we want to take it out and charge it all the time. So let's figure out how to craft. So we've got our, ooh, yeah, I forgot about that. We can go ahead and get that refined. So the fabricator is where you fabricate everything. All the blueprints are found in here. You've got some, controls and whatnot that you can mess with, based on tier and whatever. You can search for things if you want. Let's see. Let's go ahead and create. No, those are 50. Those are kind of high. Let's go ahead and do some more batteries, like I had mentioned before. So we have our Haven, which has got the larger capacity, storage capacity. That's just where I like to store a lot of the stuff, just because this has only 500. So anytime I use that dude over there to go ahead and get resources, they'll end up here anyway, so there's no point in filling this up all the time. Anyway, so you got nickel iron, as you can see here. Here's carbon fibers. I don't have any carbon fibers. These guys provide a lot of carbon fibers, 40 of them. So let's get those mined. You don't have to do this because it's again a little bug. You can do that if you want, but just to speed things up, you can just throw them in there. And what I think is kind of funny is that every once in a while the item will pop up here above that. But anyway, so if you, because we use that, here's our resources. So now we can go in here. Let's go and create 2 batteries. So 20. Let's move this here, move this here. And I can't create 2 because I don't have enough nickel iron. Probably want to get that done. I'm just use a little bit more, but all right. So let's get 1 and put back in here 10. That's it can stay in here the extra can stay in here if you want to keep it there, but I like to at least keep it somewhat clean for the most part. Battery does get fabricated at 100% charge, which is nice. It's back on. Okay. Let's get back in here. And what we can do is go ahead and leave the battery here so that it will be ready whenever we need it next time. Alright, so this is saying that we need to go ahead and investigate Ep2, Bohr Orthos 2, and Bohr Orthos 1. Message. Let's see. This guy here. Okay. You know what? There's stuff in that one. You can see here that says empty, but this one here says it has hydrogen. So let's go ahead and get that and put that in the get the resources out of it. This one also has resources, which is nice. So let's go and get that too. So we'll do that. There we could probably get ourselves a second battery. That's got 4 days left. All right, let's go and do that. Okay. Let's get this stuff out of here. I forgot to turn it on too. It doesn't stay on all the time, I guess. We had some good amount of resources to come from that one. That one was automatically drained. Alright, so now we go back into here. Let's get this ferrite. Get us some iron. Some ice, which should give us some oxygen. Some hydrogen. Oh, that's full. We only have 100 in our refinery, but get that done. Okay. Get the rest of this worked on. Okay. So as you can see, getting all this mined and stuff is not that, it's not difficult. Your Haven can do this at a small scale. There is a much larger, with a much larger capacity cargo bay that we can get later on that will do this much quicker and provide us with a lot more space to work with. Okay. We've got quite a bit of stuff here now. We can actually do another battery if we want to do one. If we want to do one, if we want to do one. I think, yeah, let's go and put one of those. Let's get one more of those made. Now, until we actually can get some more, because we're going to find a lot of items on our journey. And we'll get to the point where we're just sick of looking at batteries, but I need this stuff at the beginning, so we'll just grab it. All right. So now we have a battery here, right there, and we'll have one in our ship. What? Be a good idea to fill up on oxygen before we leave. Let's go ahead and autofill that. Going to take a little bit of a health hit, but better than dying. But now we're full with oxygen. There are Stim packs that we can use that are work in place of medkits. We can make a few of those, but we'll run across plenty of those too. Okay. This guy here. And pop this guy here. Alright. Actually, I'm really happy about finding this dude because a lot of base structures can allow you to transport materials, but you can't do that from the ship. It's lacking a resource allocator unit. But you can use these to go ahead and get those, which is really nice. Alright. Let's see what we got. Hard to change our range. I don't even remember where we're at. Where we at? Oh, that's right. We had gotten some of what we needed already. Okay, so it talks. Let's go back in here in our journal. So it talks about ALP and Orthos 1 and 2. those are not currently on our map. So if we go here, double click to go ahead and move to a body on the map. And if you look at each one of these, are asteroids or maybe a a wreck station or something like that. So how can we find ALP-007 or the Orthos locations if they're not provided to us? We can use our radar here to go ahead and search for that. And each one of these sliders here change the radar cone, whether it's going to be more precise or wide as far as scanning, or the location. So you've got your, how precise or how wide you want the scan to be. You've got your up and down, and you've got your left and right. One little trick to make this a whole lot easier for you, though, is that you can right click on an object and it will just point to that object. So much easier than trying to figure all this stuff out. You've got some information up here that will give you some details and whatnot. Power consumption takes 3,000 to go ahead and scan an object or an area. What I like to do is I'll go ahead and go up all the way and scan, and this is should give me some purple bubbles. Yep. So this one right here, it shows your possible contacts 1 radar signature 6250. You can right click on that and it'll point us at it, and then I have to go at 50. Go ahead and do that. That'll help get us more precise as far as the location. And it did find one. It found another asteroid. Now there may be something else here, so that we can go as tight as we can and scan that to see if there's something else that shows up. And there is. So here we have the Gnosis Engineering Block A and the Ruined Reactor. Let's go ahead and head to the Ruined Reactor. And because using the emergency warp detonator, which is already built into the ship, we can't move around with anything docked. But because we have our base here, we want to go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and see how far we can get. I don't think we have enough. We don't have enough power. We can't. Yeah. Regardless, we don't have enough power. So what we can do to fix that, we can go to the power supply here. We can turn all this off on the base. The only problem is that we have no sun exposure, so we're not getting any power simply because of that. So because this does work on Newtonian physics, the star, Hellion in this case, is behind the planet. So we have to wait for the star to expose itself from around the planet in order to get energy. You can take this time to find something to listen to on YouTube as you're playing, or mine resources if you're at an asteroid. If you're if you got like a bunch of these and you need to go ahead and refine some materials so you can use it, you can do that. There's all sorts of things you can end up doing to pass the time, because there are, like I mentioned before, there is a lot of waiting, but it's worth the wait as you progress through the game, especially if you like the story. Let's see. I think we have, our power is at like 4% now, just for the fun of it. There's the star. and that's also pretty cool. You can see the coronal mass ejections happening around. That's a pretty cool detail that they added. And sorry about that. If we go look at our power, it's not out just enough yet for us to get an input. Go ahead and turn this off for now, just to stop our power leaking. Alrighty, there we go. We got a 60% exposure, and that's going up at 878 per second. So let that build up for a little bit. Because if you recall, I think we had 60,000 that we needed. So this one here. Reactor, and it costs us 60. So we gotta wait for that. We're almost there. Okay, we're at 60. We can go ahead and turn this on. It's going to reduce our consumption because it's going to reduce our input, even though we're consuming some. But because our input is more than our consumption, we're continuing to build in our capacitor. So we'll go ahead and get to our new location so that we can get some more resources while we're waiting. All right. See our thing there. Capacitor builder. Let's change this. Let's warp. Okay. So if this was going on the other side of the planet, you will get a warning. You know, you'll get a warning here saying that not that. Sorry. You'll get a warning here saying that you're going to have a proximity alert and you're running to the planet. But while you're warping, which can take several minutes because we have a minute and almost 2 minutes, we can take that time to go ahead and try and find some other objects. We found several, actually. Let's go with that one, I guess. Okay. Unstable orbit because we just started. Wait a second. It's going to do what I think it's going to do. Yep. We're dead. So, I always think that's funny. But anyway, we can go ahead and load our game. So I guess it didn't provide us with a proximity warning, did it? I wasn't even paying attention to that, to be honest. That's okay. Alright. So we're back where we were. Just before the sun was going to come out so that we can get some energy. So let me look back at this because I'm pretty sure it was supposed to tell me. There they are. That's interesting. Okay. So these are supposed to pop up here and show us what we need to see. Special power. Let's look at bits of power. Should start seeing it momentarily. And we'll start this over again. Let me do some testing here because I remember that if we were to warp to one of these locations, and you can see the warp trail here, right? And so right now this is bypassing the planet a little bit. So if we warp there from using R1, our first tier 1, our tier 1 detonator. It says offline. It did not. Interesting. Let me try another. Let's go there. And if it's not going. So you'll have to pay attention. If you're going to go through an object, it usually would tell me that there's an object in the way, but it doesn't. All right, regardless. All right, let's go and warp here. You turn power on. Can't warp with no power. All right, go. Let's go ahead and head here because that's our quest. 2, 3. Okay. I think we'll be safe this time, considering you're not going through the mass of the planet to get there. When I first started this game years ago, I always loved the warp. You know, the math that they used to create this look and everything. And we watch movies like Interstellar and other things like that, and they have something use, you know, some sort of warping technology or whatever, and it has similar things. So I had this one time I was going not through the planet, obviously, but not like we did last time. Um, but you know, to something that was in front of it, and it made this donut, and it's pretty funny looking. Let's see, 33 seconds. I mentioned before. So because this is 100% full, there's no reason to put it here in the charger. I mean, you're not going to damage it because it's not real, but all right, we have, let's go to Orthos 1. Okay. All right, we don't want to go too fast, obviously, because we don't want to overshoot, and we also don't want to crash into it. Pretty close here. Do here, kind of get it to the opening. Make it easier for us to go to and from. Just like how we had a catalyst that was on the outside of our ship, they have them here on these solar power modules. But there's none here that we can grab. What else is over here? Let's see. All right. A lot. But that's okay. There. Nothing on these. Says we need to check the terminal as far as our quest. Before we do all that, let's go ahead and check if there's any resources anywhere. See anything. That sucks, but it's alright. Nope, that was busted, so we can't do anything there. Check this, what we got here. Oop. We tripped. Okay. Module, and this looks like it's pretty damaged. Here also, no modules or cores or anything, so there's literally nothing in here. Okay. Let's check the second. Orthos 2. Let's keep going. I always move away from where I was just to make sure I'm not going to smack into it whenever I go somewhere. All right. Get here. We do not want to do that one because we'll go through the planet again. That. See? Oh, there it is. Warning, proximity to celestial body detected. So if we were to use that, you can see it's just a little bit of a hair that it's close enough that it would hurt us like it did last time. So let's see if we can go somewhere else for now. Maybe we can go down here. We're still away from that. Okay. All right. I think we'll be fine. Let's do that. So at least we can get one of these. Hopefully it's not that long. I don't think there's anything else we can really do. Got our welding tool. It's not full, but at least it's over halfway. That is nearly fully charged. So when you so with this warp cell, it's basically a fuel cell for the detonator to do its thing. It will use all the fuel that it needs to finish the entire warp maneuver all at once. It doesn't use it as needed or anything, which isn't ideal, but it is something to keep in mind, especially when you're traveling from Bether, which is this planet here, to another planet. So when we get to the point where we're leaving this solar body and you're going to Iridil or Herath, you'll be using multiple warp cells to get there. That can take some time. I believe that there are some intentions to change that slightly. So in the future, it'll be updated to the point where it'll use it as needed. But don't quote me on it. So this is our first asteroid that does have a terminal that we need to check, but you see these little blooms. Those are things that we can end up mining. So let's go ahead and get a little bit closer. And then we'll do some mining while we're down there. Try to keep it to just to the point where I can start seeing the light from the ship to give me some light while I'm actually on the asteroid. You can get too close and it'll smack into your base or your ship or whatever. So let's go ahead and take both of our raw units, these guys, resource canisters, and our mining rig. You do want to take at least 2 batteries with you, because you will go through those pretty easily. It's actually I don't do this enough on everything. Make this a little bit easier for ourselves. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and take our miner dude. Let's do some of that first, just because we know we're going to end up using it anyway. It looks like the terminal's on the other side of this thing, which is fine. So you can see these are different colors. White being just ice, and ferrite being brown. So something that this, oh, that's going to blow us out if we get too close. So you have the 2 puffs, then the final one being the blowout. If you got this little area that you can go ahead and if you do this, you know, really close, you can end up not seeing it, you know, spewing out. But you can get it just a little bit further out and it won't do that, but it'll still let you mine it. So another little tidbit. But you can see what you're mining in your capacity in your canister in the little display. On the right, it includes your battery and the health of your drill bit. Nice over there. Oh, some right there. And we're almost full on this canister. Oop. Okay. Alright, that's full. So we'll exchange these and continue on. Because the more the merrier. As we go from asteroid to asteroid, they'll have different resources, and so these will be different colors based on whatever the resource is. Like there's green for nitrates and or the other colors. It's been some time. So just to see. Yep. So that hurt us a little bit. just to see what it did. Knocked off 10 points of health. And if you're really close to these, it will blow you out to space. Warning. Also, our battery's almost dead on our drill. Battery is dead on our drill. Swap this out. Okay. This one. Oh, it's full. All right, so put this away. Where is the terminal that we need to use? Oh, it's right there. Shortest way, maybe. Either it's this way or that way. Or this way. And there it is. Play log. Do it.
Burned after 6 minutes. I'm just horrible at this. I should have taken that engineering course. Okay, let me see if I can fix this. Fried coupling and a blown amplifier. Well, okay, it's not that bad. But I think I'll have to make another salvage run through Betty's scrapyard. Note to self. Find spare warp cells before you end up stranded again. You got lucky last time.
Let's get over here to get some oxygen and drop off our stuff. Oh yeah, forgot. You can punch if you want. Good idea to turn the power on. We don't need the airlock. Just need the fabricator, likely. Actually, don't need it yet, but let's get this here. Take low damage, but not dead. All right. Let's auto drain you and you. There we go. Let's refine what we got, which is a bunch of ferrite. Here's our nickel iron. On my prior playthroughs, nickel iron was while it was one of the two main resources you needed to produce most anything, I kept running out. Got a ton of carbon fiber, so. Got a lot of ice though, which is good, so we can breathe. Get that in there and get this in here. There it goes. Haven't come across some of these servo motors yet. Pretty sure we did. Let's go look at something real quick though. I don't see one. I would actually put that, well, okay, I had, okay, we were talking about medkits, right? Here's your stim packs. Those are your quote-unquote medkits. Let's make 5 of those. So it'll be 25 and 25. Only because those are kind of important. I totally just did that. Here we go. Okay, craft that. Takes a couple of seconds. Craft. Each one of these gives you 30 hit points. You can see how quick that works. And evidently when your person's done with them, they just kind of toss them. They don't, that's something you can refill. Show you because we're going to have to end up doing this. So, talking about blueprints, get this out of here. Talking about blueprints, something that we don't have are one of these. That's our air filter, carbon filter. We can go ahead and research that so that we can make some more later. But it will destroy the object. So if we look here on the Fabricator and our different things, our blueprints, there is no carbon filter. Also looking at it, I don't see a fire extinguisher either. Well, guess what? We've got one. Go ahead and get that taken care of too. When you do use those, it doesn't save any contents in it. So the nitrogen that you need to go ahead and fill these up, it's not going to save that. So that's one thing you need to be careful of, is that if you are researching something and it has materials you want to get those out of there. So there's our fire extinguisher. It's researching it. And poof, it's done. Same thing with the carbon filters. And it's done. Now we can go in here in our Fabricator, see that we have carbon filters and fire extinguishers. We don't actually need to make those at this moment because we're not using, we're using the oxygen in our suit, not the oxygen in the ship or whatever. Put those in there. Let's give it just a moment for it to charge. So here's where you can have your stim kits so that you can heal yourself later. We'll put these over on the ship. Those will be available when we need them. We can go ahead and fill these back up though. So we'll just put it down there. I always like to fill them up with 4 oxygen and 1 nitro because a little nitro can go a long way. But you're going to need more oxygen than nitro. Okay. So 4 oxygen, 1 nitro. Alright, I'll put those back on the ship. And these are both done. We'll leave that one there. These in here. Stim packs in here. Okay. We have another one over here that we can go ahead and fill up whenever we get some more. I'm trying to figure out, do I want to go ahead and do one more mining run? I think I will, simply because I know I do run out of iron. Some people are they don't like necessarily playing more realistic games. They like the either the simpler or the more gratifying, way of living, I guess. Where things are more instant kind of a thing. But seeing some actual like science and how all this works and everything is pretty cool to me. Probably a good thing to get a lot of ice out of one of those. Probably enough the ferrite. You don't get a whole lot out of that, but Fill the rest of this up with some ferrite. I think I have plenty of oxygen for now. Always like the ambitious project that this thing encompassed. Like there's just a lot that they ended up doing, or that they ended up doing but not completing with it. Let's head over this way. There's a lot of iron over there. So I like the fact that there's multiple moons for each planet, and then each planet, and then as you get closer to the star, things like your radiation goes up, and that causes damage to structures and things more quickly. Or the further away you get, the less solar power that you can rely on, so you have to use what they call helium-3 with a reactor. So you have to eventually get a ship with a reactor on it. Without it, you won't get very far in the outer planets, moons. Swap out this battery. Oh, it's full. Okay. Let's head back. Where's mine? On the other side. Okay. Like the views. It's just pretty cool to me. Which, if you get a really dark place on Earth, you can actually see those. The drains. Auto drains. Let's go put this back in here. Alright. Fill this battery up. Take this one out. Unload. So our haven capacity is getting up there. So let's go ahead and unload, offload some of this. Okay. Find that. Go ahead and take some of this nitrogen, pop it in there. Hydrogen goes into our welder. Oxygen, put into here for now. Actually, we have no oxygen in here, so let's do that. So you can put stuff into here and here, but you can also cross, take some of these things from each one of these. Although I don't think no, it doesn't. Scroll down. But, okay, like right here, the air, for instance, I can go ahead and take that, put it in here, and fill that up. So now I have enough to put what I need into our ship. This in here. Okay. Let's get some more oxygen. Nitro. I don't necessarily mind filling these up because they can, they're at least good reserves. Unless these get damaged and they start leaking, you can always come back and take from them if you need to. Good there. I don't think there's anything else I need to get for now. I mean, I guess I could create some more of these, but I don't think I need to at this moment. So we're okay to leave those. Let's go ahead and refill our pack. Let's go and just leave like 50 in here, I guess. And 30. Okay. It's on autofill. There it goes. Oh, you know what? Let's also go ahead and so the welding tool takes hydrogen, and so that filled up all the way as well. All right, so now we're good. I think let's go make this one a little bit shorter than yesterday's. So we were an hour and a half on the last video. So let's go ahead and let's go and end this here. Let's go ahead and pop this stuff in here just to get it done and call it good. All right. I think we'll just go ahead and end this one here. I think we went through a few things. How easy it is to die, and especially if you're not paying attention. We did a few other warp maneuvers. We did some mining, and have to go do some salvage missions to get us power coupling and a Stim amplifier in the next video. But I think we went through a few cool things. Anyway, we'll go ahead and leave this here. Thanks, everybody.